I think my FWB has feelings for me, don't know how to navigate. So, about 6 months back I went out for drinks with some friends, one of which was Chris, fake name obviously. Chris 27F and I 28M have known each other since we were in middle school and were never super close but were always good friends if that makes sense. She got wasted and was being flirted with by another guy in the group who was sober, which sent off alarm bells for me, so when we were all walking to our apartments and he'd lingered instead of going to my apartment, I ended up crashing on her couch. The next morning while we were having breakfast she admitted she found me cute, really appreciated what I did the night before, and wanted to know if I'd be up for a FWB situation. So ever since we've been just that. We'd both just gotten out of relationships at the time, and surprisingly this FWB situation resulted in us actually becoming really close friends to where we now actually just hang out more often than we hang out specifically with the intent to sleep with each other. Well, before we had a pretty strict, no staying the night rule because for her, that felt like a step beyond FWB, but late last month she asked if I'd be willing to stay the night because I just really need someone to cuddle with tonight, and I didn't think anything of it and obliged. But now it's become every time we do it one of us ends up stay the night at the other's apartment. She's also been making more overtly flirty comments towards me when we're with friends, which was another rule we had because we wanted to keep things private. Problem is, I don't know that I share her feelings. She's amazing, don't get me wrong, beautiful, can't undersell this. I work in a field where I work with models on a regular basis and most of them do not compare. No idea why she picked me of all people, brilliant, driven, and one of the kindest people I know. This girl volunteers at a soup kitchen weekly. I've been incredibly grateful to have gotten closer to her over the last 6 months. I think she's one of those people you're lucky if you get to meet even one of in your whole life. I know once feelings get involved there's no real going back to strict FWB, but I also would rather get buried alive than hurt her. So I would love advice on how to handle this. Update. Well, I didn't really expect to have an update this soon or at all. I suspect it'll be the only update. After the first post I called her and told her I suspected she had feelings. I was right, and told her I didn't have feelings and wasn't ready for a relationship out of panic for the situation. Thankfully it was therapy day. I talked things out with my therapist about how I have serious fears about getting back into a relationship, how those fears made me react way too quickly, and how now that things potentially collapsed I've re-examined how I feel about her. After therapy I just let myself sit with things for a while. Then I called her. Call went to voicemail. So I texted her and let her know I wanted to talk and wanted to do it in person if she was willing. She texted back and said she was willing to meet for dinner to hear me out. So I laid everything out for her. How my last relationship fucked me up and how that made me panic when I realized she had feelings and act before I even gave myself time to process. And then I told her how I really felt. That her voice is my favorite sound, how her smile is what I see when I close my eyes, all of it, and most importantly that if she was willing to be patient with me I wanted to give us a shot. Anyways, I'm taking her on a proper date this weekend. Update 2. Hi all, just wanted to give a second and probably final update unless we get married or something maybe. I just got home after spending basically all day yesterday and part of today with her. On a scale of 1 to 10, the date was an 11. The day after my last update she and I had a long call while she was on lunch from her job. It wasn't really about anything specific, but I made up the excuse that I was doing photography at a local greenhouse later that day to steer the conversation to flowers. I found out her favorite flower was lilies. Lucky me, I already knew her favorite color was pink. So I picked up a bouquet of pink lilies that day and had them waiting. Then came Saturday. I got to her apartment and I swear, nothing could have prepared me for the moment she opened the door. I've photographed models on a Miami beach at sunset, I've photographed landscapes in Iceland and Ireland, I've done a wedding on a small vineyard in Italy. I don't say any of that to brag, I say it because I thought I had a pretty good grasp on what beauty was with my experience. But the second she opened the door the definition was changed for me. Her eyes were the first thing I noticed, of course. Her eyes are like these beautiful ice crystals in her head and they were highlighted by this gorgeous tan dress and the way her hair framed her face. Her smile when she saw the flowers made me freeze completely. I literally turned into a stuttering mess. I've never had that happen in my life. I'm usually confident and hard to fluster, but this outstanding human being did it without trying. I finally managed to hand her the flowers and we took them in and put them in a vase. A couple months ago she made an offhand comment about how she wanted to visit this upscale Italian restaurant in our city, so that's where I had made reservations. The food was probably pretty good, I was too distracted by her to care that much about if the food was good. She info dumped about how apparently lactose intolerance is a skill issue, her words, not mine. She does this cute thing where she'll apologize for info dumping and when I encourage her to keep going because I love hearing her talk she bobs her head back and forth. It's a bit like watching a penguin dance. Don't know how else to explain it, but it makes me smile every time she does it. After that we walked a block to a bar because they had live music. We got a single drink each and the band started playing Something by the Beatles. She made a comment about how it was her favorite slow song, so it felt like something to make a mental note of. So I asked her if she wanted to dance with me and we did. And then it happened, she kissed me. It's weird, we'd made out before, but this time it just felt different. It was like lights dimmed around us and everyone else disappeared for a moment. It was just us in each other's arms. When she pulled back she had to be sure to jokingly remind me I nearly missed out on that. I ended up staying the night with her and today we just laid in bed until like 1 p.m., just chatting and cuddling. After we finally got up we went and got lunch together. We discussed what both of us want for our future. We both want kids. We both agreed that we both wanted to adopt at least one of them to pull a kid out of the system and give them a good life. Our goals really seemed to align well. The only difference was she apparently wants a spring wedding. I always planned on getting married in the fall because of photo opportunities. Guess I'm having a spring wedding. I know, early to think about a wedding, but I had a realization. In the last 2 months we've spent more days together than apart. I did the math earlier this week because the thought occurred to me, so I read through our texts. From February 1st to April 12th we only spent 32 days apart. We still talked on most of those days over the phone or text of course, and we spent 39 together. Of those 39 only 4 were with the explicit intent to sleep with each other. Yet somehow I still didn't realize I was in love with this woman.